Hello, my name is Dr. Doug with Home Server HQ. In this video, we will demonstrate how to set up a virtual private server, or VPS for short, with a sample provider. We'll actually walk through setting up two servers, one to simulate a home server, and the other to function as the relay server. Now, if you are setting up a quick demo, then you'll want to set up both. But if you have your own equipment at home, then you just need the relay server to function as an access point. I am using a particular provider for this demo, so if you choose to use another provider, then the specific steps will likely differ. So ensure to refer to the wiki for the stated requirements on each server. Now let's get started. Okay, so here we are at the main site. The first thing you want to do is go to the wiki, then go to the Getting Started section, then to the Setup Relay Server subsection. In this section, I discuss how to choose a VPS provider, all of the different factors you should consider. I compare these factors in two tables, one for your relay server and the other for your home server. You choose your provider based on your own preferences, but you could use these tables as a reference. In this case, I'm going to use Kamatera since it has hourly billing and quick setup time. I'm not going to cover the sign-up process for your provider since it's pretty straightforward. You provide your information, including a payment method, and an account is created. And one thing I like about Kamatera is that they have a nice deal when you initially sign up. They provide one cloud server worth up to $100 for free during the first 30 days. This works out great for our use case, since we are simulating our home server, and it has high resource requirements. I'm going to skip the sign-up process and jump right into the setup console after the account has been created. Now I'm here at the main dashboard. On the left-hand side, go to My Cloud, then Servers. Then click on Create New Server. For the location, I'm going to choose Texas. Then scroll down and pick Linux Ubuntu for the operating system. Then for the version, select 22.04, 64-bit, optimized and updated. Make sure you select the correct version, as other versions are not yet supported. Then scroll down to the next section. Now we need to select the hardware specifications. Head over to the wiki and then to the requirements section. We are setting up a home server, so let's focus on those requirements. As you can see under CPU, it should ideally have at least 4 processors. Back in the setup portal, we'll select A for availability. Then for the number of CPUs, we'll select 4. Next is RAM, so let's refer back to the requirements section. We are setting up a demo, so 16 GB is suitable. So select that amount accordingly. Finally, the disk space. Let's check the requirements. At least 150 GB of space. This is just a demo, so we'll use that amount. Back to the setup portal and select 150 GB. So to recap, A, 4, 16, and 150. Then scroll to the bottom. Now we need to set a password for the root user. Let me pull in a password generator to generate some random passwords. Here it is. The number of characters is set to 32. We'll click regenerate a few times and then copy it to the clipboard. Then let's open up a notepad to record this. We'll call it Home Server, Linux, root, password. Then paste from the clipboard. The password is still on the clipboard, but we'll copy it again for clarity. Then back to the setup portal and paste the password accordingly. And again to confirm. Now we need to give our server a name. We'll call it Home Demo. Finally, for billing, we are given the option of monthly or hourly billing cycle. Select hourly billing cycle if you are running a short-term test. Monthly runs about $70 a month, which is a bit pricey. This is why having your own equipment in your home is important. Finally, click the Create Server button to complete the process. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes for the server to be created and booted. And you can check the status of this in the tasks queue below. While that's working, let's go ahead and set up our relay server. Click Create New Server button to start the process. We'll again choose Texas as the location. Then scroll down and select Linux Ubuntu. For the version, again ensure to select 22.04, optimized and updated. Now double check the version as it will not work with other versions. Then scroll down to the next section. For the type, select A for availability, then let's refer back to the wiki for the requirements. We are now setting up the relay server, so we'll focus on those specifications. As you can see, for CPU we only need 2 cores, so back in the setup console we'll select 2 CPUs. Then for RAM, back to the requirements, and we only need 2 GB. So select that accordingly in the setup console. Finally, for disk space, as per the requirements, we only need 20 GB of space, so select 20 gigs in the setup console. To recap, A, 2, 2, and 20. Then scroll to the bottom. We need to set another password, so let's pull in the password generator. Click Regenerate a few times and then copy the password to the clipboard. And let's add this to our notes. We'll call it Relay Server, Linux, root password, and paste the contents of the clipboard. It's obviously still in the clipboard, but we'll copy it again for completeness. Then back to the setup console and paste it in. And again to confirm. Next, we'll give our server a name. We'll call it Relay Demo. And then finally, select the billing method. We will again select hourly billing since this is a short-term test. Then click the Create Server button to complete the process. As before, we can check the status in the tasks queue below. This will take a couple of minutes, so we'll skip ahead until both servers are up and running. Alright, we're back, and as you can see, both servers are available. Now we need to retain the IP address that was assigned to each server. If you click on the server, it will show more details on the right. There is a handy Copy to Clipboard button for the IP address, so we'll use that, and we'll retain this in our notes. We'll call it Home Server IP Address, then paste the contents of the clipboard. And we'll do the same for the relay server. We'll call it Relay Server IP Address. And let's grab the relay server IP address from the setup console. There it is. Copy it to the clipboard, and then paste it in our notes. That's it. That's all there is to it. Both servers are set up and ready for the Home Server HQ installation. One final item of note. Once you are finished with your testing, make sure you shut down and terminate both of your servers. To do this, first select Power Off from the Actions menu and confirm your selection. We'll do this for the other server as well. This will take a few seconds, so we'll fast forward a little bit. Now that they have shut down, ensure to select Terminate Server from the Actions menu. Confirm the termination, and we'll do the same for the relay server. There we go. Both have been terminated and we will no longer be charged for their use. Well, there you go. Now you're ready to perform the Home Server HQ installation. Just ensure to have the IP addresses and credentials handy when you do. And if you're just running a demo, don't forget to shut down and terminate your servers when you're finished testing. That's all I have for today. In closing, stay safe, keep your system up to date, and always back up your data. And if you have any questions or need help, just ask. My name is Dr. Doug. Until next time, God bless.